Well, hi everyone, and thank you very much for joining me today on our information webinar for the certificates in human resources management that we offer through the School of Continuing Studies at York University. We are going to get started. So today I have a bit of an agenda for today's presentation. We should be on the line for about 30 minutes to 45 minutes, depending on how many questions we have at the end. So I will introduce myself. I will talk about York University. I'll talk about human resources management as a career and why study HR, why HR is a great career option for many people, the expertise of our instructors that teach in the program, what makes our program unique. I'll talk about the T-shaped professional and what that is and how it relates to HR. And talk about, of course, all the program requirements, the value of the CHRP or the CHRL designation to your career. I will share some testimonials towards the end. And then finally, we wrap up with admission requirements, the schedule, the tuition fee, how to apply, and when the next offerings are. So we've got a pretty packed agenda, so let's get started. So let's just talk just briefly about York University. For those that don't know, that we are the second largest university in Ontario. We're the third largest in Canada. We are very well known for academic excellence. 98% of our professors have the highest educational qualification in their field. And we have very accomplished alumni that span the globe and are making an impact in their fields and really redefining leadership. We also have a very rich research history. We have an expertise in pedagogy, online learning, and instructional design. So we are also known for championing new ways of thinking that drive teaching and research excellence. With regards to the School of Continuing Studies, which is a school within York University, we're located at the main campus of York University at Keele and Steeles, and we are centrally located. I know right now with COVID, all of our courses are online, but when we were having classes on campus, it was always very convenient for people to get to campus. Now, the School of Continuing Studies, we provide meaningful continuing ed opportunities that combine guided instruction with practical application. So that's really what makes us unique, is that practical application as well. Our programs are designed to develop a well-rounded professional that employers value, that has both the deep discipline-based knowledge and the broad skills that are really required to communicate and be effective within a multidisciplinary team. So with a variety of options to suit your learning style and schedule, adding a recognized respected credential, such as a York University professional certificate, it hasn't really been more convenient. Now, this next slide just shows some of the other programs that we offer in the School of Continuing Studies. We serve over 3,000 students through our certificate, pathways to degree programs, and English language programs, which draw over 50 countries from around the world. The school has earned international attention for its innovative approach to continuing ed and English academic preparation program design. So just on the screen here, you can see some of the other programs aside from the human resources program that we offer. So moving on to what is human resources. Human resources management, or also called HR, HRM, is the function within an organization that focuses on the recruitment of, the management of, and providing direction for the people who work within the organization. So HR is the organizational function that deals with issues related to people, such as compensation, hiring, performance management, organizational development, safety, wellness, benefits, employee motivation, communication, administration, and training. So it encompasses such a wide variety of things. HR is also very strategic, and it's a comprehensive approach to managing people and the workplace culture and the environment. So effective HR policies enable employees to contribute effectively and productively to the overall company direction and the accomplishment really of the organization's goals and objectives. Now, very important here to note is that HR is moving away from that traditional personnel, administrative, and transactional role, which are increasingly being outsourced. HR is really now expected to add value to the strategic utilization of employees, and that employee programs impact the business in very measurable ways. So again, HR is becoming much more strategic, and that's exactly the way that we have built this program. Studying HR is also not just for people who work in an HR department. So we've had students in the past take our program that actually are not working in an HR department. These are people managers that may be responsible for things like recruitment and selection, compensation, training and development, performance management, conflict resolution, etc. And so it just really makes their role and doing their job much easier. Now, in general, having a good understanding of HR is really important for anyone who gets work done through other people. So let's talk about careers in HR. And I'm sure that a lot of you that are on the call today are very eager to start a career in HR. It's a very fast growing career field, has many lucrative opportunities. You basically can work in any organization. HR is the skills that you learn in one job. It's really not industry specific. You can apply those skills to any kind of industry. Career analysts expect that the number of HR jobs will increase in the future, and the median annual income for careers in human resources is above the national average. So that's very, very good to note. And for these reasons or more, you're probably wondering, well, how do you start a career in HR on your own? And the very first thing is actually attending webinars like this, because you are interested in the program that we have to offer, and getting the designation, which I will talk about in the next slide, is going to be very critical. So our program has been approved by the Human Resources Professionals Association as having met all of the educational requirements for the designations. So before I go on to talk about the HRPA and the professional association, I just wanted to mention that, some job titles that you will grow accustomed to seeing on sites like Indeed and Workopolis, etc., are things like human resources generalist, recruiter, learning and development specialist, health and safety officer, compensation specialist, industrial relations specialist, career counselor, corporate trainer, HR consultant, HR officer. As you can see, there are so many opportunities in this field, and definitely that's probably why you're on this call today, to learn more. Now, in terms of the CHRP designation, before we go on, I'd like to launch a poll. I am curious to know how many of you are interested in pursuing the CHRP or the CHRL designation. So I am just going to launch the poll. All right, so it looks like the majority of you on the call are planning on pursuing the CHRP and the CHRL designation, which is great. For those that aren't, that's also great, because they're probably people managers who just want to learn more about HR, and that's terrific as well, just like I said in the previous slide. But let's talk about the designation. Now, the HR profession is gaining a lot of strength and credibility, like I mentioned before. What is the HRPA? The Human Resources Professionals Association is the association that grants the CHRP and the CHRL and the CHRE designations in the province of Ontario. It is a professional regulatory body for those that are practicing HR in Ontario. Now, according to a large study that was conducted by payscale.com, they can confirm that those that obtain the CHRP designation were promoted faster, they were hired by larger companies, and they earned more than those that did not have the designation. They also indicate that job postings requiring a CHRP, at least the minimum of a CHRP designation, have increased by 70%. So that's also very telling. A lot of jobs are actually making it a requirement now to actually have your designation. No, so not only does the designation correlate with many job opportunities, for more job opportunities for HR professionals, but it can also be tied to promotions to higher levels of responsibility and then of pay. PayScale was able to look at HR professionals' career path information. Specifically, how did their job title change in the span of 5 years? Then they looked more closely to see if those individuals who earned the CHRP designation progressed into higher level positions more quickly than their colleagues without the CHRP. And the conclusion from PayScale's analysis, as you can imagine, was that professionals with the CHRP designation were promoted more frequently, they moved into higher positions more often than those without the designation. So in closing, when you review all the various markers such as pay, career progression, job opportunities, earning the designation, the CHRP designation, has been shown to have a very positive impact on an HR professional's career. So let's move on to the next slide, and it'll just show you a bit of the trajectory for each student. So looking at this slide, the qualifications for the CHRP designation are a certificate in HR management that includes the 9 approved courses that are required. Then, if you're interested in the CHRP, you would have to meet some HRPA requirements as well, in addition to having completed one of our certificates. The HRPA requirements include membership, a knowledge exam, a job ready program, and a jurisprudence exam. So as you move through, going to the next slide, and the next slide, you would then be qualified for the CHRP designation. And then ultimately qualified for careers as an HR assistant, HR associate, coordinator, admin assistant, recruitment assistant, and HR generalist. So the CHRP designation is really an entry-level designation. And then if we move on to this slide, if you're interested, if you have at least 3 years of work experience in HR already, then you would qualify for the CHRL designation. So the requirements for that are that you complete one of our certificates. And then in terms of the HRPA requirements, they have membership as a requirement. They have a knowledge exam that is a higher level. It's a little more difficult. They have a job ready program. They have a little more difficult jurisprudence exam. And then they have a professional program that has to be completed. Now that professional program, from what I understand, is completely online and can be done completely online. And then you have 3 years of work experience, and then you would be qualified for the CHRL designation, which is the leader designation. And those jobs, you would be qualified for jobs that are more at the middle manager, senior manager level, like HR manager, HR business partner, director of HR, HR officer. Okay, so our programs, in short, our programs, you would qualify to pursue the CHRP or the CHRL. They do have one additional designation called the CHRE, and that is an executive designation. And our program, you wouldn't be able to progress through the CHRE that way. You would have to have lots of work experience in order to get the CHRE designation, and that's usually reserved for people in VP, president types of, and CEO types of roles in organizations. So what makes our program unique? The very first thing is that it's cohort based. And what this means is that you will start and finish the program with the same group of people. So whether you are taking our fully online program or you're taking our full-time certificate program, it is in a cohort. So you purchase the program. You are not purchasing courses, here and there. You are purchasing the entire group of courses, which are 9 in the online program. And in the full-time program, we have an additional course. So there's 10. So the second thing is that you'll study all the 9 courses that are required to meet the educational requirements to write the knowledge exams for the CHRP or the CHRL designation, like I mentioned earlier. We have integrated, what also makes us unique is that we've integrated non-HR competencies into the curriculum that will prepare students to succeed in a Canadian and international business context with a solid grounding in skills that will help them get hired and be eligible for promotion. We have experienced instructors that have extensive HR experience that are teaching in our program. Our programs are flexible enough to allow students to work during their studies. Graduates of our programs will be uniquely positioned to thrive in a vibrant, multicultural workplace. They will also be able to develop rich personal networks of local students, international peers, Canadian instructors with significant industry experience. Now, moving on to the next slide. To add on to the last slide about what makes our programs unique, I wanted to showcase the integration of these non-HR competencies into our curriculum, or our goal to create what we call the T-shaped professional. So our goal in all of our programs is to produce graduates who can write, speak, negotiate, problem solve, make ethical decisions, and think critically. Graduates will have the depth of experiences that they've gained at work within a particular division unit of the business, as well as any past education programs they've completed. and they will bring this, of course, to the table. And the bottom of the T, so when you look at the T, the top of the T are the cross-functional skills that I mentioned: writing, speaking, negotiating, problem solving, making ethical decisions. And then the bottom of the T are the technical skills that are the core skills that you will learn in our program in HR that will help you actually do the job. So moving on to the next slide. We have two different programs in HR. We have a post-degree certificate in human resources management. It's a full-time program. The primary audience for this program are university graduates that have not landed their first full-time job, as well as international students. But we also have many domestic students that are interested in this program as well, because they can complete the course in 9 months. Students will get the 9 CHRP, CHRL courses, the educational requirements for that, plus a business foundations. It's actually a business communications course that is specifically tailored to HR. And then students are required typically to be in class 4 days out of the week. They normally have 1 day off that can be used to study or work. And of course, schedules change year to year. Normally, this program is actually in class, but because of COVID, we've had to take it online. And so what we are doing is conducting the same classes that we would normally conduct in a face-to-face setting. We're doing it live online using Zoom. And we've got lots of experience using this. We've made an incredible transition to live online. The instructors have also made a really smooth transition, and we have found so many innovative ways to engage our students online, and many of our students are having a very, very good experience. Now, this program here requires a degree and an application. And moving on to the next slide, this is the sequencing of the courses. Students normally start with the business communications course. They move on to HR management and then intro to OB. Those are the HR management and intro to OB, organizational behavior, are the prerequisite courses for the rest of the program. And then the other courses, it doesn't really matter what the sequencing is and how you take them and when you take them. But normally students move on to occupational health and safety, HR planning, compensation, accounting, recruitment and selection, industrial relations, and then training and development. Now, moving on to the next program, we also offer a fully online, part-time certificate in human resources management. This program is very, very flexible. The majority of the students that take this program are working professionals, and that's what it was designed for. It is asynchronous. Therefore, what this means is that you do not need to be online at any specific time. Unlike the full-time program, where you do have to be online at a specific time for class, in this case, you do not need to be online at any specific time. Therefore, you can log on late at night, on the weekend, whenever is convenient. Individual assignments, as well as an opportunity to work on group assignments, will also be available. Students can expect weekly discussion forums. They should dedicate 5 to 9 hours a week on reading, homework, and participation in the weekly discussions. These courses are very highly engaging. Our instructors are online almost every single day interacting with students. So this is absolutely not self-directed. And then you can finish this program in just under 2 years, about 18 months from start to finish. Again, it is a cohort, and you will have access to the 9 approved CHRP courses, as we see here on the screen. So the only difference between the online program and the full-time program is that there's an additional course, and then there's some other value adds that we've added into the full-time program as well. Now, the next slide is a student testimonial that I wanted to share. And I wanted to share this especially for those that are on the line that are interested in the fully online program. Now, this was a student who took the online program, and what she said is that the online HR program allowed her the opportunity to broaden her knowledge of HR through a focus on very specific content areas that were relevant to the work that she was doing on a daily basis. The program fit perfectly into her busy schedule. She was able to balance a full-time career along with raising a family and being active within her community, and which didn't leave her a lot of time to get into a classroom on a specific day or time. So the online learning format allowed her to engage at times that worked with her schedule. And in her case, geography was an issue. The program, she was not in the Toronto area. The York program offered the content that she was looking for, but getting to a campus in Toronto on a weekly basis would have been challenging. And the online learning format allowed her to log in at any time and anywhere. And then we have a quote that I wanted to share from one of our esteemed Program Advisory Council members. We do have a Program Advisory Council that oversees the overall direction of this program. And these are high-level senior executives in HR. They're all working currently in the field. And Julie, she is a wonderful person. She's done so many information, like webinars for us on some hot topics in HR. And if you plan to register for one of our programs, you will definitely be seeing Julie because she conducts webinars on hot topics in HR on an ongoing basis. So what she says is that York's School of Continuing Studies is taking a broader perspective in ensuring students in the program gain a comprehensive business understanding and not just focusing on HR. So this goes back to the T-shaped professional that I mentioned earlier and the importance of these of understanding the business context, right? This indicates to me that York places importance on business operations, of the business operations of HR. Now, moving on to the next slide, the post-degree full-time program. These are the admission requirements. So you need to have at least a BA, a baccalaureate degree. Official transcripts are required. If you're an international student, you need to provide original English translated copies of your university degree and your transcript. You have to complete an online application form. And if you're an international student, you do need to show a proof of language proficiency, which is a minimum of an IELTS 6.0. If you're interested in the part-time online program, you need to be a mature student or have successfully attended at least a year of college or university, or otherwise be eligible for admission to the university. Okay, so the next offerings of our program are fall. The full-time program, we have fall 2020, winter 2021. The fall program starts in a week or so, starts on September the 14th. The winter program starts in January. If you're interested in the part-time online program, our fall 2020 program, which is very oversubscribed and is close to selling out actually, starts September the 21st. And then the winter program starts roughly the third week of January. But if you go to our website, continue.yorku.ca, you will find all the full schedules. Now, I wanted to launch a second poll to find out how many of you are planning actually to register for the fall of 2020 for the online program. Okay, so it looks like there's about a 50-50 split, which is great. Close to a 50-50 split. That's wonderful. So for those that are interested in the online program, I would recommend that you register as soon as possible because it is filling up rather quickly. It's one of our more popular programs. Okay, so moving on to our tuition. Enrolling online, you can do, like I mentioned, at continue.yorku.ca. The program fee for the full-time program is $18,999 for international students and $82.49 for domestic. And the program fee for our part-time fully online program is $69.21. And I wanted to mention that books are not included in this price. You should budget on average about $100 per course for books. The contact information, if you have any questions, we have David, who is our continuing studies advisor. Please contact David at continue@yorku.ca. If you have already registered for the program or need to register or having difficulty registering, please reach out to my colleagues in registration and they can be reached at regscs@yorku.ca. So that brings me to the official end of my presentation, and I would be very, very happy to take questions from anyone who has any. Okay, let me see here. I've got some questions already. Okay, I have a question. If I registered in the online program, can I switch to the full-time after I get the English prerequisite? Okay, so what I would recommend is I'm going to put back on the screen our information on our continuing studies advisor. If you could please contact David, and David will walk you through everything that you need to do. Is the credential different between full-time and online? No, it's exactly the same. You get a certificate from York University in Human Resources Management. So we've got someone interested in 2020, but after January. Do we have a May 21 start or September 21? Absolutely. We offer this program 3 times a year. We offer it in the fall, we offer it again in the winter, and then we offer it again in the summer. And that's for both the full-time and also the online program. For the part-time, can I take more than one course at a time? No, you cannot. It's a cohort, so you have to take one course at a time, one after the other. Is the full-time program available to apply for winter 2021? Absolutely. If you go to our website, winter 2021 is available. What is the last day for a PR holder to apply for fall session? If you have permanent residency, you can still apply. Our domestic applications are still open for fall 2020, if that's what you're interested in. What funding is available for the online program? Unfortunately, our programs do not qualify for OSAP. I have studied and worked in HR in the UK, but I'm looking to make the move and transition. Would that be okay? And my work experience factored into the CHRP? That's a very, very good question. Just based on my experience, it probably is, but I don't work for the HRPA, so you would definitely need to contact the Human Resources Professionals Association. So if you email David, he can send you a contact that we have, and you can ask my colleague at the HRPA any questions that you'd like about, the experience requirement. Again, I have a question about 20 years of experience in T&D qualifying for the CHRP aside from other qualifications that you mentioned. I think you should really contact the HRPA to just make sure that your experience will be reviewed and will be accepted. And I know that they do look at previous HR experience. There's a different route that you can take, actually. You don't actually have to take the same route as everybody else if you have lots of experience. I'm interested in the online part-time program. I was wondering what format would the assessments be in? The assessments are all online, and it depends on the course. In some courses, there are no midterm and final exams. There's case studies, there are research papers. So it's a variety of different assessments. It could be a research paper, could be a case study, could be a quiz. So I hope I answered your question. I have a BA and an MSW. Which transcript is needed to apply? You can apply with your BA or your MSW. You could actually, your highest degree maybe, your MSW would probably be better. Can you transfer credits to the Master's in HR program? No, you cannot. It is a master's program. They will look at your certificate. You're going to need the 9 courses to get into it, for sure, but you can't transfer any credit. So it's a master's level program, and you need at least an undergraduate degree to get into that master's level program at York. The master's program at York is very, very well known. It's recognized worldwide, and you need a considerable amount of experience to actually get into that program. Now, we've had students that have taken our program, have gone back to work, and then they were successful in getting accepted in that program. Well, thank you very much, everyone. I'm glad that the information that I gave you was useful. I really hope to see all of you in class. I wish you all the best of luck. Again, thank you for joining me today. And if you have any questions, please connect with David. He's a great guy. He will be able to answer all your questions. And if you have any registration questions, connect with our registration team. They're also great. Okay? Well, thank you very much, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Bye-bye.